Rossoneri out there. It's Luke and Shady here for this week's podcast. Wherever you're listening or watching, g'day from me. And how's it going, Shady?
Hey Luke, how you going? All good. Hello everyone.
Yeah, I'm good. Another exciting week. The ball feels like it's starting to roll now.
Literally, yeah. I think on a lot of fronts. I think our mercato is really shaping up. We've got a few players in, a few players, that we want to get out, and yeah, it's really got the friendlies kicking off. So all good.
Yeah, exactly. On the friendlies, we can quickly just go over them. So the 31st of July, in a few days, we've got a game against Nice in Nice. 4th of August, Valencia in Valencia. 8th of August, Real Madrid in Austria. And then 14th of August, I struggle to say this name. Panathinaikos in Trieste. Sorry for all the Greek listeners, watchers out there. But yeah, what any of those earmarked? Obviously, the Real Madrid one is exciting, but yeah, what will you be looking for?
I'll look for, anything that's reasonably timed, I'll be looking to catch. Definitely, I'll keep an eye out for the Real Madrid one.
Yep. Yeah, exactly.
I'm actually really interested in how Madrid are going to line up next season without both Varane and Sergio Ramos. It's just like ripping the heart out of the defense. They're really going to struggle next year.
Yeah, a lot of those.
That's.
Yeah.
Sorry, I was just going to say that's an issue for another podcast, not ours. But sorry, what were you saying? A lot of what?
No, we won't go into it. You're right. It's probably not. It's probably not our place to talk. We can leave that for other podcasts around the world. Place where it is ours to talk is transfers coming in and out of Milan. One thing I loved over the week was the Kessie. What Kessie said.
Oh yeah,
fantastic to see, isn't it?
Exactly. In this day and age as well, and after what happened with Donnarumma and Hakan, to have players like Kessie come out and say what they did, and hopefully he puts pen to paper. It's not just a talk, and I don't think it is just a talk. I think he will put pen to paper once he's back, and he's said it in so many words, and he said that that's what's going to happen once he's back from the Olympics. See Tonali taking a pay cut, to see everything, it's that kind of spirit you want to see from the players at your club. That's what you want to see.
Yeah. I've got the comment here. Everything in it I just love. Him saying, the more I play, the better I feel. I'm super motivated. I can't wait to hug my teammates and coach Pioli again. He talks about how hard they worked to get into the Champions League, and how it's not the right time to leave, considering that's happened. You really feel it's a player that's now connected to the club. He's worked hard to get where the club is, and really the club and himself as a player are starting to see the rewards for all of that effort.
Yeah, 100%. Great, just everything, and how he wanted to stay with Milan forever.
Yep.
I want to be called the Presidente forever. Everything.
One thing I loved about it was he said Milan, Maldini, and Masada all know what I'm thinking, and I know what they're thinking. We're constantly messaging each other, and we're clear in where we are. And I guess from a fan's point of view, it's good to see that, because obviously a few other players that have left the club haven't been like that in how they've dealt with the club. They've been a lot more secretive, left it to the manager, their own management to deal with, not really gotten involved. But it's good to see a player that's really, being transparent with the club and where they are, and the club reciprocating that.
Yeah, you love to see it.
Yeah. And it's good to see that he's talking long term. So it's good. Moving on, our favourite player could be leaving.
As you were saying earlier, it's like basically we were waiting on him to leave before we've got we free up any funds to move for any new players. Is that right?
Yeah. So I think there's interest coming out of Spain from a few clubs, Espanyol, Valencia, a few of the other ones. 8 million euros is the price tag the clubs put on him. So yeah, I mean, I think what's coming out at the moment is that once he goes, we can start to make a few more moves. He's just kind of blocking the way in the short term on those fronts.
Yeah, I mean, I wish him all the best to Castillejo. I mean,
Yeah.
he tried. It was never a lack of effort. It was never a lack of trying, and I respect him for that. I respect him for that 100%. He gave everything he could when he was on the pitch, but maybe it just wasn't, just didn't work out, I guess.
Yeah, and I think possibly not at a club of Milan's stature and size, but I think he has a place at maybe a smaller club with different ambitions. So good luck to him.
Yeah, all the best to him.
And he's played well in Spain, so who knows what will happen.
Yeah, exactly.
Moving on, Dalot is looking like he's going to stay in Manchester.
Yeah, and he posted something yesterday, the day before, something on his social media about just a picture from training in Manchester, and something like you get the sense that he's trying to, They're putting together a really good squad there, by the way. I mean, but again, that's a topic for another podcast. But they've put together a really strong team. They should be able to challenge City, I think, this year.
Yeah, we'll see. Manchester United obviously would like to keep him as a right back. I don't think that they're interested in doing another loan deal, and I don't think we're interested in signing him at the moment. So we'll see. Things change in football, as we know, but at the moment it looks like he won't be returning to Milan anytime soon.
Yeah, I saw something on Twitter maybe today or yesterday. Another Milanista was talking about, and it's true, by the way. I mean, the amount of money the English clubs have, just throwing it around them and PSG. And then at the same time, Milan and Juventus are battling it over that Caio George guy.
Yeah.
2 million euros.
It's ridiculous.
Milan and Juve fighting it over 2 million. Yeah, and taking out a second mortgage to be able to afford Caio George for 2 million.
The answer is Super League. No.
Correct. It's not, but we joke, but I mean, obviously there is an imbalance and it needs to be fixed in European football in general. That Super League was not the way to address it, because it would have just worsened things.
Yeah.
Because there would only have been a handful of clubs that would have done all right. Yeah. Even if that includes us, I don't think that's the way to go. But yeah, definitely I agree with you. There is an imbalance. There's something absolutely wrong.
Definitely.
Where the English clubs can afford to cough up 50 million just like that,
It's crazy. They're just buying any player that comes on offer, I guess. Speaking of Jorge George, however you say it, from Santos, he's 19. As you said, we've put out an offer of 3 to 4 million. Apparently Santos want 6 to 10. So, I mean, whether I don't know, 2 million euro, you'd hope that we have that, because it feels like if it was Manchester United or Chelsea, I don't know.
They would have,
that would be,
they would have blown it out of the water. Their opening bid would have been 20 million for a 2 million euro player. Look, I think as well, I read earlier that Juventus reached a pre-agreement or something like that with them. Yeah, so I don't even know. To be honest, all I've seen are YouTube highlights, which seem okay, but again, we've commented on those before. So not too fussed. I would rather just stick with Colombo, give him a chance.
Yeah.
Give Colombo the chance to be mentored by Giroud and Ibrahimovic, and then you've also got Rebic. You've also got Leao, who could play that role occasionally.
Yeah.
I don't know. I would do that, but I mean, I'm obviously not the club's technical director.
And I think these a lot of these Brazilian players or players from the Brazilian league, you need to be careful, because they're obviously, as we've said, they're very technical players that you can put together very good YouTube videos about them. But as we've been burnt by in the past. Sometimes when you get them, especially at a young age, like 19, 18, whatever, their weaknesses can really come out and they start to struggle in those bigger European leagues. So yeah, you need to be careful of them, but we'll see.
Yeah.
Moving on.
We saw that with Paquetá. We bought him and then we had to wait a few months for him to come in. And we were all watching all these Flamengo highlights. And we thought we'd gotten the new Kaká, and it just never materialized.
Yeah. And there's always weird deals with those clubs as well about, making deals. You
have to wait for
but then the club wants, it's always just a mess.
Never straightforward. It's never straightforward.
Yeah. Anyway, moving on to ZIYECH. What do we think?
I think if we can get him in, that would be great. But I mean, is he going to come in? I don't know. I doubt it.
Yeah.
But ideally, of course. If you offer, if you're telling me, of course, it's a no-brainer.
I doubt that he'll be able to. He's had his injury struggles. He doesn't look like he's really in Chelsea's plan going forward at the moment. He's one of those awkward players for them that I guess a lot of the English clubs have just a few stars lying around in the shadows of the club. It's possible. Apparently they want 35 million. Seems a fair bit. We know what he did at Ajax. We know there's talent there. We know that, we've got a hole in that position. And that he is at his best that kind of player that can perform at those higher levels in bigger games. So he's proved it in the Champions League in the past. At his best, he's definitely a player that we want. And we'll see where that negotiation goes.
Any further, yeah.
ZIYECH.
Another short-term solution. He's like 34, isn't he?
33.
Proven in Syria. Sorry, my bad. Proven in Syria, a really good player. He'd add value to our squad, but again, not one. I guess a short-term solution, yeah. But I mean, I'd love for us to get someone with more of a long-term plan. I mean, with like a more. I'd like for us to get a long-term solution for like all those positions up front that we need reinforcements in.
Yeah, and I mean, part of the reason why maybe a ZIYECH would be, obviously slightly different players, but just that 5 years younger kind of puts him in that golden patch of his career, whereas 33 starts, an injury or two can really derail a player's career at that stage. The good thing with ZIYECH is that he's a versatile player, as we know. He can play that attacking midfielder, move to the wing, play as a second striker. His contract's coming up next summer, I think. So, he should be quite cheap. It's rumored around 4 million, $2.5 million contract, so euro contract. Sorry. We'll see what Atalanta want and what we do, but I guess it's a watch this space. I think I get the feel with ZIYECH is that he's not our first selection, I don't think. And probably Maldini and Masada are just waiting to see what happens on a few other things before we make a strong move on him. And I guess one of those other things is the guy from Russia, Vlasic, the Croatian.
It looks like he's a no-go, isn't it? I mean, it looks like, Is it CSKA? CSKA Moscow is with? Yeah, I think they're like playing hard. I mean, they want an obligation to buy something like that, right? Looks like it's a no-go. I mean, you never know, but it looks like right now that we're looking. That's why the Julian Brandt rumors started surfacing, and even like talk of a swap between. Swapping Liao with Julian Brandt. Would you do that?
I don't know. I honestly can't say. As for a player that I haven't really watched too much of, I know that he played a lot on the bench at Dortmund. I don't think, he hasn't really torn it up too much at Dortmund. he's 25. He's got 35 national team caps. So, I mean, yeah, I don't know. I think Liao, we persevere with a bit. We don't throw him out too quickly. What do you think?
Yeah, I think I'd give Liao one more season.
Yeah,
he's annoyingly inconsistent, but he's that raw talent, bloody hell, and that speed. The derby, the first game when we beat Inter 2-1, the way he just second for the second goal for Ibra's second, the way he just like on that left flank, he's got one hell of a sprint. I mean, on him, he's really quick and he can be like really decisive. He can cause other teams a lot of damage when he harnesses that. So if he could this season kind of hone that talent a bit and hopefully be guided by having more like experienced players as well, like Giroud and Ibra and all that around him, hopefully something good will come out of it. Yeah,
that's true. And before we move off him, we have to mention that it was our great friend in Milan, Alessandro Jacopone, who released all of that information about that the Brandt rumor. So
yeah. Okay. Well,
it's been working hard in the off season. That's Bakayoko. I don't think we've spoken about him yet. When I think of Bakayoko, to be honest, at the moment, if I had to say it in one word or expression, it would just kind of be like sort of like, if he wants to come. Obviously, he loves the club, really wants to come. Chelsea aren't in love with him. They want 20 million. Apparently, Milan are offering 10.
No.
I wouldn't spend overs for him.
No way. Look, right now that department is somewhere we're actually covered. We've got quite good covering.
Yeah.
So we've got Kessie, Benasser, Tonali. I would keep Vega this case, and I'd also keep Krunic as a player a utility squad player that could fill in with injuries and with lots of competitions and on. I would not spend that money for that position. Save that money, get a right winger, get a trequartista. That's what you want.
Yeah.
That's my 2 cents.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. And we've already spent, I think, 60 million. So I think we use the funds wisely from now on.
Exactly.
The last player I want to mention is the player from Ruben Kazan.
I don't know how to pronounce his name.
Do you want to say the name, or should I attempt it?
No, I think you attempt. I think the initials were KK, and I can work with that for now until like the Milanisti or our club supporters give him a nickname or something like that. But I'd butcher the name, and I don't want to do that.
Yeah, I attempted it before this, and
I haven't seen him before. I don't know anything about him, to be honest. I'm not sure.
Yeah. 20 years old. He's got a lot of clubs chasing him. The classic rumor, he posted some Instagram with dream come true on it. So apparently that's meant to symbolize that he's coming to Milan or something. I don't buy it. We'll see.
We want someone proven right on the right wing, plus or minus a trequartist, obviously, because we've got Brahim Diaz and we've got other players who can probably try and fill in that role. But
yeah, agreed. Before, we don't want to go too over time, but the last thing I want to ask you, Shady, is rumors about if we don't sign another player to fill Çalhanoğlu's spot, whether Pioli changes our formation to a possible 3-4-2-1, maybe a 4-3-3, which we saw under Gattuso, Montella, Mihalovic. Lots of talk about that. Do we keep persisting with the 4-2-3-1 and try and, I don't know, rebrand someone or move Diaz into that slot? What do you think?
I would probably keep I would probably keep the formation as is. I wouldn't change the formation.
Yep.
It's working well with the players we have because right now we're missing one player, I guess, just to make this formation work. I would probably spend the effort in training, in preseason training, a couple of players, Brahim Diaz and a couple of other players, experimenting with a couple of other existing players to see if they can play in that role or not. Maybe give Rebic a go if he'd like. We'll see how that goes, as opposed to overhauling everything and then having to train and drill all the players on this new system. For me, it makes sense to tweak a winning formula we already have, as opposed to just overhauling the whole thing and then starting from scratch. I'd keep things as is, and if the funds become available, buy a good trequartista or a promising trequartista and try and get to mold them to fit into our formation. I wouldn't. It's a winning formula for now. I would keep it as is and just work on new new approaches to breaking down teams when they come and park the bus at Santier. We need to win at home a lot more this season.
Absolutely. I think the emphasis is at the moment to buy players to fill those spots, not change the whole makeup of the team.
Doesn't make any sense.
Because we can't buy players.
Exactly.
Yeah,
I agree.
It does kind of tweak my interest of playing the three centre backs with Romagnoli, Kier, and Tomori, and then apparently moving Theo and Calabria up. But I think at the moment you're absolutely right that we keep with what we know, and obviously it's always good to have a few, backup alternatives that you can switch to where need be. But yeah, I completely agree. Anyway, we covered a lot this week, but I think we're finally done. That's all from me. Anything else?
That's all from me.
No,
I'm good. No,
Okay.
not really. No, it'd be good to see how the week pans out and reassess this next week and see where we're at and if there's anyone news coming or left.
Absolutely. It does. Yeah. As I said at the start, the ball's rolling and we'll see who start to fall in place. But as always, Forza Milan, and I'll see you next week, Shady. And
see you next week, mate. Forza Milan.
It's a lot,